Oh, hello. Oh, welcome back to Nikki's Nosh. And today we're at a strange place. I'll stand on this side. Welcome back to Nikki's Nosh. To celebrate my hitting 1,000 subscribers, I did say that I was going to go to somewhere special. And that place over there is somewhere special. Now, it opened 12 years ago. It used to be a pub called the Yorkshire Hussars, and it was a miserable, miserable bar. I went in there once with a friend. She had business in the hotel that's opposite, which is the Radisson. We're in North Street. Now, North Street has nothing going for it whatsoever. In fact, the only premises in here is either the hotel or that place. But what is it? If you walk past there, you have no idea what it is. Believe it or not, that is one of the very best restaurants in York. It's called the Whippet Inn, and I've been coming for that 12 years. It's so good. I've come probably 2 or 3 times a year when I was running my B&B. I used to send all my guests here if they wanted a special meal. And because I've got my monetization, it's a special meal for me. I haven't been here for 6 years because obviously when I'm retired, I couldn't afford it. Now I can because, you know, the buy me a coffee thing down the bottom here? Some nice people have donated some coffees. They bought me a coffee. So I'm spending my buy me a coffee money. I've got £70 to spend. I might have to put a little bit extra to it, but it's going to be the most expensive meal that I've had on the channel, and I think it's going to be the most glorious. I've had a word with the owner, Martin Bridge, who says it's okay for me to film. So I think we're going to be in for a really good meal. It's called the Whippet Inn. And so let's whip ourselves in there. So come on. This young man here is called Angus. You've got, I think it's 50 covers, something like that.
50 covers.
Generally at the weekends, of course, you have heaping, I suppose.
Yeah, Saturdays, Sundays usually are always going to be our busiest time. We do a Sunday lunch.
You have to book, just a week or two in advance for the Sunday roast.
Thereabouts, yeah.
Yeah, and presumably it's 3 levels up from the normal roast stroke.
I'd like to say so, definitely.
Okay.
Massive fan.
This was a bar, wasn't it?
The Yorkshire Hussar.
Yorkshire Hussar. Well, do you know, 15 years ago, a friend of mine came to York, and I sat in the corner over there. It was a terrible pub, was the Yorkshire Hussars. It was dead. You're the only people in North Street. You really have to know where you guys are.
Yeah, we'd like to be
to find you. Yeah. Finding all of these things must have taken them ages to do.
Absolutely, yes, it must.
So you have real ales, don't you? They have great wine list. York gin, everything is, if they can source it in locally, they do. So let's find my table. Hello. Just look how beautiful this is. They can only seat 50 people at a time. So it is very exclusive. Welcome back to Nikki's Nosh, and of course I'm Nikki. This is my special treat to myself and also a special treat to you. We're at the Whippet Inn. I used to come here when it first opened 12 years ago, and it was absolutely marvellous. I used to recommend, when I ran my guest house, I used to recommend all my guests to come here, and they would say it was marvellous as well. I never got a freebie. then, and I don't expect a freebie now, because they're a good quality company and they deliver good value. I used to manage to get here about 2 or 3 times a year, and they change their menu quite a bit as well. But I've been looking on their website for quite a lot recently. I thought, well, when I get to the 1,000 subscribers, I'm going to go to the Whippet Inn. Sometimes you'll see it on the bottom, buy me a coffee. And a few people have donated, and their names are going to appear here. Right, and these are the people who've donated to my Buy Me a Coffee. Now, I've now got £70. I'm going to be spending that and probably a little bit more. Thank you ever so much. And I've got some Adam's Ale, York tap water, York's finest. Now this is a palate cleanser and all that other thing. So I'm going to be having just that. But you get, this is a posh place, so you get a proper bottle. We're going in, we're in on this 100% commitment, and I'm going for the starters. Now, I'll put a link into the description of the starters, and I might be able to whip the starters up on this side. The choices are great. Now, this is not Toby Carvery restaurant things. This is expensive, but every single one of these starters is marvellous. And I will bring those up on the side, because I'm going to just tell you what I was juggling with. I looked at the idea of the chalk stream cured trout in gin and elderflower, sweet pickled cucumber with buttermilk, dill oil and trout roe, £15.50. But that is served cold, and I feel as if I would like to have something as a hot starter. I looked at the shell-baked queen scallops, curried parsnip puree, spiced breadcrumb, parsnip crisps, apple. But I'm not a great fan of parsnips, as well you know, so that one's out. But I found this one. Argentinian red prawns, roasted in their shells with nduja butter, served with charred lemon and herb salad, £15. I'm going for that. I've got 2 lovely beers. Right, I've got this one here, which is a Rudgate, isn't it?
Yes.
It's a Rudgate.
Ruby Mild.
It's a Rudgate Ruby Mild. Yeah, I got 2 because obviously 2 halves. Locally brewed, locally in Yorkshire. That's really good, and I'll put a link to Rudgate in the description as well. And then we've got another one here, which is this is a Kirkstall Brewery one, isn't it?
Yes,
what's it called?
3 Swords.
So, 3 Swords. I hope I don't cut my mouth when I'm drinking these. Now, this is like an IPA, isn't it?
It is, yeah. It's a real ale.
And I really do like I really, really like these IPAs, because they've got sort of fruitiness in them,
Yeah.
I mean, a few years back, people, I'll have a pale ale. It never had any fruitiness or anything.
It's when the IPAs, the India Pale Ale, started coming up in the market. That's when the fruitiness started coming out in a lot of other places.
Yeah. Kate and I were talking about how ex-dairy cattle and steaks came about. It's only in the last 2 to 3 years that, at least in Yorkshire anyway, that this has happened. It's the same thing. There's been a sort of revolution in the beers as well, hasn't there? It's quite fascinating how things change, but it's all changed for the better. So I've got those just to give me 2 different flavours of beer. I'm going to be just sitting back and marvelling at this. So thank you, Kate. That's going to be my starter. So Argentinian red prawns roasted in their shells with nduja butter, served with charred lemon. That's going to be my starter. Now, the Whippet Inn is famous for its steaks. I don't have the money for Chateaubriand, and I don't have another person to share it with, so we can't have the Chateaubriand. But what we can have is we can have off the menu, we can have a 300-gram ex-dairy ribeye. Now, ex-dairy is cattle that is 12 or 13 years old. Yeah? They have got very, very high fat marbling content in the steak, and you get an incredible flavour from those. Now, the Whippet Inn obviously its reputation is based upon steak, and they have a butcher in Yorkshire that buys these beasts and obviously then butchers them. So there is a chain of command running through from the beast that was in the field right the way to my table. The cattle have been retired. I'm going to read it out from here. The cattle have been retired from milk production. They are left to graze and naturally grow fat. We believe this ecological way of farming has less impact on the environment. We also believe it results in an exceptional cut of beef, reared for longer for the fuller flavour. So the cattle has not been bred for beef. It's an exterior, so it served its life as for milk, and then it's been retired. It's been happily living in pasture and eating well, and that is why we're having it. And that's £39 now. For £39, we had a conversation. That's lovely, thank you. I thought I'd been given a little thing of chocolate, but it isn't. It's a little thing for my hands.
It's a little harvest.
It's a little wipe. It's a wipe for my hands. Look, but obviously the nice thing about the Whippet is you get proper cutlery for whatever you're eating. I have enjoyed coming here so many times, and I've really missed it. I came here before when I sold the house, my B&B, and obviously I felt really good and I had some money, and so consequently I came here as a treat to celebrate that. So it's 6 years. I really am looking forward to this. But I've purposely left this space here, so if there's any information that I can add to help you with the Whippet Inn and this meal, it'll appear there. Let's go into the steak again. 300 gram ex-dairy ribeye. This cut is unbeaten when it comes to beefy flavours and wonderful marbling. These steaks are selected for their high fat content because fat equals flavour. Best served medium upwards. Now, I asked Kate, who's my server, who is extremely knowledgeable about everything, and I said, Kate, why would you suggest that it's medium rare? Because I like steak blue. Blue equal very rare. Now, she said, no, go for medium rare because the marbling has an opportunity to render down and it gives you that extra flavour. Now, obviously at the other end, if you like your steak done well done, again, bring it down, because obviously if you cook it too much, obviously it's going to lose some of that flavour. So when you have ex-dairy steak, you have to be guided by the restaurant. Not every restaurant can get ex-dairy. I've tried to get ex-dairy beef from my butchers. I've asked every single one of the top 7 butchers in York, can you get me ex-dairy? And they said no, they can't. So we're in for something really special here. People rant on about Wagyu and all that. Obviously, it's been going for quite some time because ex-dairy cattle is ex-dairy cattle. It's a special genre and it's beautiful meat. So we're going to be having something really special. This isn't a steakhouse meal. This is a Whippet Inn special. Now, if you were feeling less hungry, you could go for a 200 gram dairy fillet. You could even go for a 700 gram UTM T-bone. Now, I don't quite know what UTM stands for. Salt-aged prime steak cooked on the bone, featuring both sirloin and fillet. The individual steaks are then removed from the bone for your convenience. Suits most cooking temperatures, and that's £53. So my ex-dairy is going to cost me $39, but you get beef fat, roast tomato, spinach, garlic and watercress, pesto, and chunky chips. Okay, and then I was recommended that we have a nice green side, and there's so many beautiful sides now. Again, if I can get them to come up, have them come up here. I was fighting between charred purple broccoli, miso dressing, and furi kake, smoked garlic and tarragon mushrooms, pangrattato. I was persuaded to go for kale. Now, I'm not a big fan of kale, so it's going to be an adventure. But Kate recommended it. 2 kales on the menu. There's a cream kale with Yorkshire blue cheese. Well, obviously we're in Yorkshire, so Yorkshire blue cheese would be really nice. On Kate's recommendation, there's crispy fried kale, sesame, soy, and lime, and that's £6. What about sauces? They have the brandy peppercorn sauce. I've had that before, and it's gorgeous. Burnt onion and yeast compote. I like onions, but I'm not too sure about yeast. The yeast's there to give it sort of the umami flavour. Mushroom and smoked bacon ketchup, smoked garlic and tarragon butter, or alternatively Yorkshire blue cheese. Well, I haven't had any Yorkshire blue cheeses yet, so I'm going for the Yorkshire blue cheese hollandaise, I think. I'm going to go for that. That's £4. My stomach is rumbling because I came out without having breakfast. Well, you know me. If I'm going to eat, I really do savour everything. So I want to hold back on the old breakfast. I'm going to try these beers again. This is nice. This is Rudgate Ruby. What it reminds me of, actually, it reminds me of Theakston's Old Peculiar. It's got that same sort of rich flavour. But it's drier. It's a much drier flavour to what Theakston's. Theakston's is a little bit more fruity. But this nice IPA, bit unfiltered, of course. It's real ale. So this is Kirkstall Brewery, and it's called Three Swords. That's good. That really is lovely.
And we have your Argentinian prawns.
Oh my goodness me!
Can we get anything else at all?
I've forgotten how to open an Argentinian prawn.
So
to be honest,
what you need to do is just twist the head off.
Yeah.
Pull it off.
Yeah.
And then you'll want to then pull
the thing, yank it from the other end. Yeah. Oh, thank you, Angus.
Thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed it.
Right, thank you. Right. This pan, this is hot. Got a really nice thing here to hold it. Look at this. Right. We've got 3. And Argentinian prawns normally, when I've had Argentinian prawns, they haven't been as big as this. These are sort of langoustines. They're almost like lobsters.
They are huge, aren't they?
I'm going to struggle with opening this, but the thing is I'm going to bring the camera down so we can have a look at this. But the smell, the hot plate, of course, the smell is gorgeous. Right, let's get the camera down and have a look at them. Look at this. No small, oh, let's bring this camera right in. This is hot. This is hot. Look at this. We've got a roasted lemon. You can see, look, there's a sauce as well now. You twist the head off. Right, no, I don't think you eat that. So let's put that in and we've got a little bowl to put it all in, look. Right, so here we are. There's my prawn. And then you break the back, I think I'm right in saying, oops. These. Do you know, the last time I had prawns like this was when we got married in 1988. I ordered 30 langoustines there used to be a very, very select fishmongers in York called Johnson and Elson's. Now, anybody who lives from York will know about Johnson and Elson's. Now, Johnson and Elson's got these beautiful langoustines in, and we had those as a starter because there were only 7 people at our wedding, and that was me and my ex, my ex's parents, and the old grandma. Rather than go to a restaurant, I did the cooking. Let's get those legs off there. And then we've got a little bit of a sauce here. Let's try that. Oh, that is delicious. Nduja butter. And we've got a herb salad, which is all that lovely, nice sort of pea stalks. Look at that. Now I'm gonna bring my. Well, you can see here. There's my thumb. Can you see my thumb? And can you see that it's fatter than my thumb? Look at that. Look at that. The Nduja butter really can be quite hot, but it's just right. Absolutely just right. Look all the lemon coming off there. Look how beautiful that is. Let's try and tackle the next one. But these are really hot. Twist that off. Twist the head off. We've got that off there. Some people eat the heads, don't they? But I'm not going to.
Very skillfully done.
It's a fight. It's a fight, isn't it?
Hey, you're doing it very well.
Yeah. But these are completely delicious.
Nice.
They are hot as well, aren't they? Yeah. Oh, Kate, these are beautiful. Right. Is there a chance you could bring me a little bit of bread? A small amount of bread? Yeah. I mean, just a small thing. So, I don't want to lose out on this butter because it's gorgeous. Just a tiny little slice of bread, just to give it, because I don't want to lose that flavour. This is absolutely beautiful. Look at the size of that prawn and the tastes. Oh, and now because I squeezed the lemon on there, there's the lemon as well as the butter. There. Now that's for a little bit of bread, so that we can savour this butter. But look how thick it is. Look at that butter there. Look. I'm going to tell you how that tastes. The prawn is soft, melt in your mouth. It's been cooked beautifully. But you've got the meaty flavour. You've got the subtlety of a beautiful prawn. I mean, I would call them a langoustine because they are so big. Goodness, enjoy this herb salad with the butter. It's a messy business, even having prawns. Look at this lovely chunk of bread.
Take the card.
So for catch-up, you will, thank you. So we've got a little bit of bread here just to soak up that, because it'd be a shame to see that just going to waste, wouldn't it, Kate? Look how beautiful that is. In North Wales, they have this thing called gravy dips. Well, this is going to be as close as we can get to gravy dips. We're going to dip the bread in here, and we're going to get the benefit of that. Now, squeeze a little bit more of the lemon out, I think. Wow, that lemon is beautiful. It's been toasted. This is like having a second starter. Right, so there we go, look. That is so beautiful. There's herbs in with this, as well as obviously the pea shoots. Right, so that was the starter. It was completely beautiful. Oh, I'm in love now. It really was good, I have to honestly say. I could have just come in here for a starter, couldn't I? Because that was just lovely. I am so excited about this steak that's coming.
Oh. And then you've got your chunky chips.
Oh, and they do look chunky, don't they?
They are chunky, aren't they?
Right, the plates are hot. And that's the kale. That's the crispy kale. That's the Yorkshire Blue Hollandaise. Right, I'm going to hold these up. But I used to have espresso hands when I ran the B&B, but right, look at these chunky chips. Now, they're more like wedges, but I'm going to try one. Oh, these are to die for. These are beautiful. So there's my chips. I'm having to use this because everything is boiling hot. We've got the crispy fried kale. Oh yes, it is. It is like it's like that. Seaweed. And that tastes good with soy and lime. This is a cold sauce, Yorkshire Blue, and then we've got the Hollandaise. But this is completely and utterly cold, but I think that's how it should be served. We've got the bear plate. We've got this. Ooh. Now I'm going to load everything up on here. Just so I could demonstrate, this is the peppercorn sauce. We've got a small pot of peppercorn sauce so that we can test it. Right, so here we are. Look, now it's medium rare, but that's just right for me. Okay, let's give that a taste. There's a little bit, I got a little bit of gristle. You will have, obviously, a little bit more. Here we go, there's another piece there. Oh my. This steak is beautiful. Right, let's cut it through. And I'll hold it up and you can see. There's far more marbling because this is a 12 or 13-year-old beast. It's lived a life. Right, look at that there. Now, that's perfect for my liking. And the fat, the extra marbling is rendered down. But this flavour, this is so much better. It really is. Actually, you're getting more fat on there. See the fat there? But it's rendering down, and that's the flavour part. Chunky chips. Let's look at it from a different angle. Shall we try dipping that in the sauce? Now, this is the peppercorn sauce. embracing the pork, but a little bit thin. However, the peppercorn sauce is lovely. There we go. Just try a little bit of this blue cheese hollandaise. So it is cold, served cold. Yeah. Am I enjoying this? I really, really am. Let's try a little bit of this pesto. Look at the green of there. This pesto, it's spinach, garlic and watercress. The pesto really works with a steak because you're getting the green parts. Let's try it with some of the chips are incredible. My oh my. This steak, it's like nothing I've had before. Mm-hmm. You have to savour it. Each bite has to be savoured. But it's just, there's a richness. The fat is lending so much flavour to the meat. It just is different. It's had a good life from high welfare herds and environmentally a good way to have your steaks. This is not intensive farming. It took 12 years for this steak to be made. And the kale, it's just like that seaweed you get in a Chinese restaurant, but it's nicer than that. It's got a really nice, tangy, salty flavour. You know me, I like textures and I like different colours. And with this plate, we're getting all the colours, we're getting all the textures, and we're getting the most incredible beef flavours. These chips, look how big they are. And they're crisp on the outside, the lovely crunch. Inside, they're lovely and soft. And I've got the pesto, which adds a really lovely garlicky, herby flavour. We've got the crispness of the kale. And then we've got peppercorn sauce. Put a little bit of peppercorn sauce on there. And it holds it. It's a little bit thin, but I'm used to obviously being a sort of glutinous, gelatinous, almost a glob of sauce. But this is, I cannot complain about this peppercorn sauce. It is just right. The peppers are coming out. It's just beautiful. It's cooled down a little bit now. That's it. More like a Jew, really. I'm glad I had a chance to retry this peppercorn sauce. Peppers are zinging. One of the baked tomatoes, properly baked as well. Look at that piece of steak. And then, of course, the hollandaise with the Yorkshire blue. Bear in mind, it's an older cut, but it's just got that extra marbling, that extra fat. The fat gives it so much more flavour. I mean, I'm eating it in tiny portions. Look at the size of that. Eat it slowly and savour every bite. This is the first time I've had ex-dairy, which certainly won't be my last at all. If you get a chance to have ex-dairy beef, go for it. You'll pay a little bit more for it, obviously. There are some places, particularly in Yorkshire, where you can get it from very specialist butchers, ultra specialist butchers. And what I'll try to do, I'll try to get some to cook on the wood fire grill for my birthday in May. This steak is just right. The way they've prepped it, the way they've cooked it. Generally, if I'm having a steak, I eat it fast, but I don't want to eat this fast at all. You can have this as a fillet as well. You're having to cut it a little bit more than you would a baby beef. I can understand why they said have it done medium rare, because you want some of that fat to render down, but it keeps it within the beef. And each one of these little bites, that fat there, you would not be able to reproduce this with a younger cattle. Everything about it. It's a little bit more sinewy because it's older. All the flavours are coming out. And it's not gristle. You know, it's just, it wants to sort of get you to work at it a little bit. And that's what I like about it. Now, this is the Whippet Inn, North Street, York. I can honestly say that you will not get a better steak anywhere else. You have to try it. That's all I can say. But you've got to accept that it's a little bit more stringy in parts because of the age of the beast. But it gives the flavour back. I'm eating every piece and it's easy to eat. I don't want this meal to finish because it's just so lovely. One of the things I always think about is Could I reproduce this at home? There's no way I could reproduce this at home. Every single one of these things is made in-house, and they take great pride to get it done right. The blue cheese, Yorkshire blue cheese, and the hollandaise work so well, especially with it cold. It just sings everything up, and you get that contrast between hot and cold as well. Now, when you come to the Whippet, you get a very good personal service. Every single one of your servers is fully trained. They know exactly the menu, and they've eaten the menu. They know exactly what it is. There's none of this business about, oh, I don't know about that. They know everything about it. It's because they're properly trained. The kitchens, by the way, are upstairs. Prep kitchen downstairs. I hope you've been enjoying me watching me eat this meal, because I can't afford to have this very often. But I might, instead of coming here, I may have to just look at my videos. Well, I'm almost on the last bite. I took a bite of the last one, but it was almost yellow. The fat was there, and eat the fat, you must eat it. It just had you can't describe the flavour, it's so beautiful. Obviously, cholesterol-wise, it's probably a killer, but you don't know. I'll have to just put up with it. If I die tomorrow, I'll have died and I'll love the meal. What do I think? I'm not going to have a sweet. I'm not going to have a pudding. The flavours with different textures. Every single component of that meal fired away every single one of my taste buds. My nasal passages were absorbing the smells as well. Is there anything I didn't like? No. I loved every part of it. Every single part. It was the best steak I've had for a very long time. I've wanted to try ex-dairy for so long. It's something to be experienced, and there's not many places in York you can come to. I think this is the only one. Because often I'll go into, say I've gone to butchers and I've gone to restaurants and say, do you do ex-dairy? And they say, no, this is the only place. I think I'm going to ask for the bill. And after I pick myself up off the floor, I will pay it. How it goes, I've got no real idea how the bill adds up, but we will see. But I can't have a pudding. And they call them puddings, they don't call them desserts. This is Yorkshire. That starter was marvellous. 3 beautiful, large Argentinian prawns, or what I would call langoustines. They were almost as big as a small lobster or crayfish. They were mixed with the andouille butter and the herb salad. I really enjoyed the starter, but that main meal, that 300 gram ex-dairy ribeye was, well, I've now got a problem, because how will I ever enjoy any other steak after tasting that? I dare say there's other ways of appreciating it, but I really did appreciate that meal. It really was excellent, and it was extremely well cooked. Kate, my servant, told me that I should go for medium rare, and I'm glad I did, because we saw that marbling has rendered down, and there's far more marbling and there's far more flavours in that steak. The sauce was great. The hollandaise sauce with the blue cheese. The kale was surprisingly good. The pesto just did the job. And then that little bit of that tomato just freshened the palate again. I've just got to drink my beers now. This is Kate. Kate was looking after me really, really well. I think I'm going to tell you straight to your faces, because Angus is in the back. I think there's only one score for this place. I mean, I've been here too many times to know that every time I've been here, I've been absolutely sparkled. I'm going to give it 10 out of 10. Yeah? I mean, it really is. I mean, I'd like to think I could give it 10 stars, but I don't think I've given anybody 10 stars yet. Next time, if I get to another milestone in terms of my subscriptions, I dare say I'll be back and trying something else. I am so pleased. I will sleep well tonight. Thank you very much for looking after me. I've had the bill. And for all that I've had, you might be shocked at how much it costs. You know, the Whippet is an expensive restaurant. It's beautiful. But look, I've just got to go and pay this now, but there you go. There, right? So it's £69.10. Now that doesn't include 12.5 service charge, but what I'm going to be doing is, because there's nobody else here, I'm going to pay them some cash in settlement of that, because then that'll be easy. I've got some cash on me. Thank you ever so much, Angus. Thank you ever so much, Kate, for looking after me so well. I have not been to a restaurant where the staff are so engaging. Now, I've been here before and I found exactly that. It's just that the owner, Martin Bridge, insists that this place is formal in terms of how they deliver food and what have you, but almost encouraged to engage with the staff and the staff to engage with you. And as a result, I mean, I've had a really wonderful experience. They really do know what's what. I've had a fantastic meal, but I've also learned so much about steaks and what have you. So, and it'll be difficult to reproduce this anywhere else. So I'm going to be coming back here at some point. I'm going to summarise again, what am I giving this? There is only one score, and that is 10 out of 10. I am going to go home very happy. I have been here so many times. Well, not that many times, not many times enough, really. I've been here maybe 2 or 3 times a year when I ran my B&B. Haven't been here for about the last 6 years, and I've missed it. I really have. But obviously, yeah, I've got a sense of purpose now, and my sense of purpose coming here was to tell you how good this place is. There are only 1 or 2 other places in York that would look after you as well and would have such an incredible menu as the Whippet Inn. Now, you'll have a job finding it, because it doesn't have outside, doesn't have anything other than, it doesn't say the Whippet Inn outside. It doesn't say it at all. You just have to have a look at that picture I've got, but this is North Street. It's number 15 North Street, but that is not going to help because they haven't got the number 15 outside there either. All they have outside is a menu. And the menu at the top, it says the Whippet Inn, right? Talk about a hidden gem. This is the total 100% hidden gem. It's as if they don't want everybody coming here. And I don't want everybody coming here either, because it's too damn good for the tourists. If you're coming to York, you have to schedule a trip to the Whippet Inn. You are not going to be disappointed. Everything you've known about steak, forget it, because these guys are going to really serve you up a fantastic meal. And you, in the atmosphere, the surroundings of it. I've just seen a couple just come in, and I suspect they're going to be completely spellbound at the end of this. They're going to be feeling almost in tears like I'm feeling at the moment. I've really, really enjoyed this meal. And 70 quid, yeah, it's a lot of money. I couldn't justify it to myself. Say, oh, I come for a birthday. If it was my birthday, it'd be really nice to, money well spent, 70 quid plus the 12.5% tip. As I say, I'm going to give them cash for that. So they are. I am going to go home really pleased. Do I recommend the Whippet Inn? Of course I do. It's marvellous. Now they're just going to move over because I think something's going to appear here. And of course it's the old logo that's going to come down. Do I give the Whippet Inn Nikki's nod? And of course, come on, yeah, rascal. Ding! Yeah, of course I give it Nikki's nod. In fact, really, I think if I stood here and I went up like that and I brought it down, it could get 2 Nikki's nod. Yeah, it does. We'll give it 2 Nikki's nods. Right. So yeah, that's me done. I'll see you the next time. So from me, Nikki at Nikki's Nosh. Okay. Cheers, my dears.
Help Nikki's Nosh to grow. Subscribe and ring that bell to know what's coming next, so don't delay. Like, comment and share, let's do it today.